Hello everyone, welcome back to another follow-up video for D3 Crashout. This time, I talked last time on the leadership video where I thought that, not I thought, I said that leadership is a very integral role. And what do I mean by that? As in, you'll get a lot of pressure to be accurate, to be precise, and you take on the risk of, representing your own actions and being public about it, but you also reap the rewards of all the people in which you impacted in your leadership role. That being said, I earnestly think that positions of leadership, positions of power are kind of bullshit because they don't mean anything until you actually use that power, right? So, for example, clubs like college that I am currently participating in are glorified volunteer work. Like, you are just on a platform based off of history, right? The club has existed for a while. People already know what to expect when they go to the club, like not like actual club, but like the social clubs, and they know what they are looking for. You offer some particular service. It's very adjacent to a company, except for the fact that you lack money. So the reason this is a D3 crash out is because actual positions of power like a CEO or a VP or a manager, even like you get a pay increase like directly attached. You have jurisdiction over certain things, you have more responsibilities and powers, but still, like, you getting that role in and of yourself actually does mean something because you get a pay increase and you get an overall life quality increase and you get more power and consequently more responsibility. But looking at the action side of it alone is was kind of the focus of this video, is that yes, those leadership positions don't mean anything, like once, despite the fact that once you get them you get a new title, until you actually fill that title, right? And by don't mean anything, I mean in context of you as an individual. It's like you earned a VP position maybe, and now you feel entitled to becoming a VP. But like any job application ever, it's like you're not ready for the job once you get picked for the job. The company thinks you are ready, right? You passed screening, you passed interviews, you are a good fit for the team, you've been team matched, and now they're ready to onboard you, and they earnestly think that you could thrive in that environment. But they do not know until you actually start thriving in that environment, right? People aren't born job ready. People don't just do things and they magically would like fit into a new team, a new environment. Like, you just don't know what you don't know, and it could happen very quickly. You could get used to everything very quickly. You can get really well onboarded, but onboarding and training are also parts of things that are like not job ready. From things as simple as you have to fill out like a tax form, W-2, I-9, goated stuff, or you just have to actually go through formal training. And even if you have experience that matches up and aligns very well with the role, it's just people aren't game ready just out of the womb. One of my favorite phrases, a little lewd, but it's like you come out of the womb ready to suck boobs, right? Like, you are out, you can suck boobs and you can breathe and you can cry. And that's about all that you can do. Whoops. Right out of the womb. So in terms of learning skills and becoming job ready and developing as an individual, like, these are all things that you do over time. These are skills that you develop. Like, no one ready. Like, people who are talented, like, they might have a genetic predisposition, but anything beyond that, it's like it's all mental, and it's a very sad thing to say because we love to cope, especially in the fitness industry. But yes, it getting a little bit off track. But the bottom line is, your leadership position, your title, whatever it is, it doesn't mean anything. And this might be because I'm CS and I'm a little bit jaded, but your projects and your actions and the people that you impacted or helped and the things that you actually did or developed or built, those are all the things that actually matter. And yes, the leadership is a platform that helps you achieve those things. Without that position of power or leadership, you don't really know, you don't have the ability to potentially achieve the things that you actually want to achieve. And when I say a phrase as catchy and misleading as your leader, your power or your title, your position doesn't mean anything, it's like, no, you are assuming more risk, more responsibility by assuming that title. You may be reaping more rewards as well, like maybe the dopamine hit from getting a position that you applied for and you really wanted and being able to put it on your resume. So yes, these are just very real factors that are tied to just getting the title alone. But again, to reiterate, I'm probably gravely over explaining this, is when you get that position of leadership, position of power, nothing changes about you. You might get in your head and have an ego and be like, "Oh, now I'm hot shit," but ultimately, it's like you are the same person you were before you got that position of power, and you probably got that position of power because somebody thought that you deserved it and that you would be able to fit into that role and that you have the capabilities to do well in it, but you just ultimately do not know. And just because you get the role doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready for it. It all rests on the judgment of most likely somebody else. And I cannot understate that. I cannot emphasize that enough, is that no one's born game ready. And no matter how well equipped it seems that you should be for that particular role, and no matter how well you did in the screening interviews and in the team fitting and all that good stuff, that new title means nothing until you start taking action. And that's the big takeaway for this particular snippet. It does mean everything to be able to perform, to actually take action. Like ambitions, dreams, goals, they're all beautiful and fun. And but if you don't actually work towards your goal, if you're one of those people who has like 10 million hobbies and they don't commit to any particular one, like it means nothing to talk big. It means everything to back it up with your actions. And I'm currently in that position, the ideation phase, where I am in leadership and I'm talking about all these cool things that I want to do for our club. And it's great and people are happy and my leadership team is actually excited to work on it. But that doesn't mean anything until we actually put it into action. It gets more and more dissociative because as somebody in one of the higher roles, president, VP, I'm running one position where I'm under somebody, but I am giving out orders, right? Like if for VP you're head of the executive committees, for president you're the head of all club operations. You represent the brand and the direction that you want to move in as a club. So it's like I would say president is like program manager, product manager, where you have that high level direction, you're telling people what to do and how to actually enact it. And if you're VP, you're actually putting it into motion. Like you're on the implementation side. So for my non-techies, don't know if that made the most sense, but the bottom line is I'm personally in positions right now where I talk the talk and the other one I walk the walk. And that is still to say that I'm like, well, you actually could get by talking the talk. And here's my D3 crash out. This is why these are just unstructured and well, more unstructured and with more caveats. But yes, you can just get by talking about stuff, but you still have to take action and represent that brand and choose a direction. And you uniquely take the pitfalls of choosing that direction, right? Like that is all you. If you guys take a direction and it sucks, like if I said, okay, let's narrow down our demographic and focus on like only software engineers or like only people who learn machine learning, and maybe that just is not that many people. Maybe the barrier of entry seems too high, that it seems like really difficult, and well, then you're stuck, right? Now we don't know. we you assume that risk, and you are the person that's responsible for that, and people are gonna blame you. Same thing if like I give like terrible instructions as a VP. If my feedback just sucks, then they get mad at me, and that pressure is on me. And the reason I say these things is because, well, I'm in positions of power, and I am still figuring shit out as I go. There is nothing unique or special about me that like makes me super like amazing as a leader yet. Like it's all faith that I have that direction and I have that vision and that I'm going to encourage growth and that I'm the person to keep people accountable and stand up and take action. And that is everything that leadership is about, right? It's about being a stand-up individual. It's about holding people accountable. It's about people who take orders and there's people who give orders, and you are hopefully one of those people who takes orders, gives people what they want before they know that they want it, which I always thought sounded a little bit perturbed, but that is a part of that predictive nature of leadership, where it's like, yeah, you do need to actually offer a service or a good for people which is outside of their knowledge domain. And frankly, that's hard to do. Like, the correct answer is you just don't know. Like you could be doing everything right, or you could not, and you could know everything, or you could just don't, or you could take a risk and it might pay off and it might not. It's just the correct answer is you just don't know. You're unsure. So that is leadership. I'm starting to rehash into ideas that I've already said, so I'm gonna cut this off. But the big point that I wanted to put out there is that once you get a title, it does have some merit. Like, you are taking on more responsibility. Hopefully you are committed. You're taking on more risk. You're putting your name out there, and you might get a pay increase. You might have more people under you. You might have had to beat other people in order to get that position. More often than not, like, those, it only gets more competitive. But you, as an individual, do not fundamentally change until you step into the shoes of that role and you start taking action. And inherently, you're already assuming that risk. So that's my 2 cents. That's about it. All right. See you guys later. And I'm not gonna let this ride out. And you guys just don't get to see this game finish. We won though. We did that. We got that 2-point comeback. You might see it in consequent videos. Okay. Bye bye.